What is the cost of living in the Philippines? So we're not going to do any intros here. This is going to be an uncut video. And if I do trim it, it's just to make things quicker. I'm going to get straight to the point. I'm not going to waste your time. 2 years of experience living in the Philippines. And it's not to brag, is I love the Philippines and I love to talk about the Philippines. What is the cost of living in the Philippines? First thing we're going to start with is going to be rent, because that's the first thing that you got to, of course, look into, right? I have a whole list right here, guys, and you guys cannot see it, but I'm gonna write it down. 6,000 to 8,000 pesos. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about it could be anything from a studio. It would be in the city, for example, in Manila, the beautiful city of Manila. So $100, we're talking about 5,700 pesos. So with $100, I can almost pay my rent, and I could say I can pay my rent because there's places where you can rent for 5,000. At one point, I was renting for 6,000 pesos for a studio, guys. And no, you're not talking about BGC. I'm not talking about BGC. Those are different kind of prices, guys. I'm giving you the living in Valenzuela City and Malinta and those places. If you know what this means, it's kind of ghetto. Yeah, but it's lovely. It's amazing. And if you're up for the adventure, guys, you're not going to regret it. It's anywhere from like a studio to a one-bedroom apartment for rent in Manila. That's a perfect example right there, guys. The least that you would ever get it, but I don't think a lot of foreigners would like to live in these conditions, would be 5,000 pesos. And that could be maybe just not as nice looking as the 8,000 peso one. Of course, right? The more money you pay, usually the better home you're gonna get. Second thing, guys, electricity. The electric bill, something you really got to consider a lot because you need that to live. Of course, common sense, right? Electric bill runs 1,200 to 2,000 pesos. Let's say you do have an air conditioner, you have a normal size fridge, not a small fridge like the ones that usually are kept in utilized in the Philippines. If you go to the Philippines, if you're familiar, you will notice that a lot of the times they have the shorter type of fridges, and they're a little bit narrower. Those save a lot more electricity. What I had, and I'm telling you all this, guys, because I have 2 years of experience living in the Philippines, and it's not to brag, is I love the Philippines and I love to talk about the Philippines. If you have an air conditioner, make sure that you buy something that is powerful, maybe like a 1.5 horsepower to maybe 2 horsepower for your air conditioner. Why am I telling you this? It's a really good idea to invest in a good air conditioner because, yeah, the higher the wattage, of course, the more horsepower, the more watts it utilizes, but it's easier for a bigger air conditioner to cool down a whole entire room or apartment or a studio than a tiny one's lower horsepower will work a lot harder, meaning it'll stay a lot longer on working, utilizing all that freaking watts, costing very, very expensive electric bill. And you don't use it every single day, you're looking at around 1,200 to 2,000 for the electric bill in your house with a normal size refrigerator. That includes an electric cooktop. Make sure you don't buy an electric cooktop, okay? And I'm giving you here just tips for the foreigners that are just coming to the Philippines. I'm opening up on you guys, telling you guys how much I used to spend because I have the experience in there, also living in the province, but I'm focusing here on living on a city, for example. So just think about it. If I'm able to live with this amount of money in the city, how much less would I actually save if I'm in the province? I do have some videos where you guys are able to see, where I detail you guys how much I spend in the province, and it's there. You guys can search it in my videos. I really appreciate if you guys do that for me because of course it helps rank the videos and push them up, and you guys are doing all that for me. I appreciate you guys. I help you guys, and you guys are actually helping me. Food, I like to divide that in two categories. There's the way to try to save money for the one who's really trying to budget, but I'm not talking about anything healthy, okay? I'm just trying to tell you, if you're trying to survive, you're going to survive off street food. What am I talking about? I'm talking about carinderias. Carinderias are traditional Filipino cuisine. Delicious, guys. It's very delicious food, and I am pretty positive that a lot of foreigners will adapt to a lot of the delicious foods of the Philippines. Some you might not, depending on what kind of taste buds you have, but a lot of you guys will, because a lot of the food is very delicious, and it's very easy for us to adapt to those things. Okay. Street food, we're looking at around 12,000 pesos for, 1 to 2 person, and this is living off carinderias. I'm talking about going every day, 2 times per day, to buy street food, right? And I'm not talking about chicken wings or burgers or nothing like that, because those things do go up in price. I'm talking about the cheapest thing, which is Filipino cuisine. Go to the local mom and pa, hole in the wall style, where they cook their delicious Filipino cuisine. A lot of times, if you look around, and eventually you will, you're freaking awesome. If you're going to the Philippines, you're gonna love it. You're not gonna regret it. I hope that you guys have a freaking amazing experience, just the way I did, and I love it so much. That's why I love talking about the Philippines. If you guys are not subscribed, make sure that you guys subscribe. I'm trying to make this video to make it very fast and informative for you guys, because I don't want to waste your guys' time, because I know you guys are watching here because you guys want to know about all that stuff. 12,000 pesos. 12,000 pesos. It's somewhere around, I think, like a little bit over $200. And I'm talking about eating, of course, every single day, 2 times a day in a carinderia. Remember that. Only 2 times, okay? Not 3 times, 2 times. But it wouldn't be so much more if in the mornings you wake up, you grab your coffee, super cheap. You grab your coffee. I'm a coffee addict, guys. I freaking love coffee every day. Maybe you do too, right? A lot of people, you guys like coffee and smoke. I don't do that, but right, I've seen it a lot. You go buy some tinapay. Tinapay is bread in the Philippines. Is very cheap. In the morning, you go, you buy your very cheap bread, coffee. Later, you eat lunch. There goes one meal, and then dinner. So you can go to bed, with your tummy nice and filled up. And this is if you're really budgeting, guys, because I'm really giving you like the tips and all that, right? Homemade food, 10,000 pesos. Why? Because you're able to manage, and sometimes when you buy food for one day, it can stretch to the next day. And let's say you buy a case of eggs or whatever or whatnot, and you're not gonna finish the whole case of eggs. You know what I mean? And that's with you cooking your own food and all that. That means you have to invest. Transportation, guys, we're almost done with the list here. So transportation, guys, we're talking about in Manila, in the city. I'm not there's various ways of moving yourself around the city. There's motorcycles, which is gonna be the very, very cheapest. There's tricycles. I would say that's like the second cheapest. There's actually before anything, I think it's the jeepney rides. Awesome experience, guys, with the jeepney rides. Those are very, very inexpensive. The last time when I was there, this is just a few couple months ago or so, was like 13 to 14 pesos per ride, guys, on a jeepney. That's nothing, guys. That's so free. You guys can definitely afford that. I'm not talking about Grabs. Grabs is considered, what you call this, the Uber or the Lyft here in the US and other parts of the world. Uber, for example, right? Which is known everywhere. Uber is Grab. That's going to be expensive. That's going to rank up the price, of course. But if you can afford it, most likely you will be able to afford it as well. But I'm just talking about jeepneys and tricycle rides and all that. 700 to 1,000 pesos per month. Visa extensions. This changed a little bit because I was paying like around $800 pesos. I'm sorry, 800 pesos per month when I used to do the 6 month visa extensions. I think you guys need to go watch a video on those, because the rules and the laws are changing when you talk about extensions and visas and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna keep it short on that. But you're looking anywhere from around 1,465 per month if you extend for like 1 month and so on, or maybe 2 months. 1,465 pesos per month. That is nothing, guys. You can definitely afford it. Cell phone, guys, you gotta have a cell phone no matter what. There's two ways of doing this, guys. You either get a prepaid plan where you're pretty much gonna pay a monthly thing on a contract and all that. They still do contracts there in the Philippines. They get you with that. And you're looking anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 pesos. I used to pay 1,300 per month for my phone on a contract with a supposedly, until I fully understood what it meant, the unlimited the unlimited internet and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, don't do that. My tip here, guys, is that you actually stick to what the Filipinos do. They know what they're freaking doing, guys. Listen to me. Do not get a prepaid line unless you can really, really afford it. Then go ahead. But if you are really thinking, I want to stretch my money as much as possible and I want to experience this the way it's supposed to be experienced, go. I think there's various companies, Globe and Smart and all that kind of stuff, right? Go with one of those lines where you can refill at the 7-Eleven, but yeah, it's like the little stores that they have, those hole in the wall stores, guys. You're gonna go to those and you're gonna refill whatever, 100, 200 pesos or something. You're not gonna spend 1,500 pesos to 1,200 pesos every month, because you're not gonna have a prepaid. You're gonna go and it's not a trouble and anything, and it's awesome to go. The people love you and everything. You're gonna be spending like 800 a month. Did you hear me? 800 a month, and you're gonna have a lot of freaking internet to call anybody you want and flirt with the girls or whatever you're gonna do, you know, in the Philippines. It's a very amazing place. You're gonna have a lot of friends. It's gonna rock, guys. Lastly but not least, guys, internet. Internet, guys, is very important. That's when home internet, that's what I'm talking about. That is a game changer, because the internet at home, you cannot compare it with the cell phone, unless you really don't need it. If you're planning on being a blogger over there, you are gonna need home internet no matter what. I used to pay the very expensive internet. What is expensive internet in Manila, in the city? Okay, 2,100 pesos. I go back here because I have a list and I have to check here for you guys. 2,100 pesos for my internet. My internet was very good, very fast, and it was capable of, I think it was like 8 to 10 people connected, playing heavy, very draggy, intense video games. Can you believe that? So if 8 to 10 people playing connected on the internet, it could still run super strong without interruptions, then you have a really good internet. And that's just the base. It's not that it's written on stone like that. But yeah, anyways, guys, that's what I have for you guys. One of the things that I didn't put in that list was healthcare. Let me tell you, that's one of the only things that I don't like about the Philippines. Healthcare is expensive. It's cheap. If you ask foreigners with experience, they will tell you it's cheap. But if you get sick out of the ordinary, that's different, guys. If you need special care, that is different, guys. Listen, you're going to spend a lot of money there. Usually, foreigners in the Philippines don't have insurance, guys. They pay everything cash. A lot of the times you would be able to pay, let's say you're making $1,000 to $1,500 every month, and then you live a very simple life like the way I used to live for those 2 years in there, right? By the way, let me remind you guys, I lived in the city of Manila and I also lived in the province. And when I was living in the province, I lived a very rural life. The prices are different and they're cheaper than what I'm telling you. So if you're amazed that I'm able to live for around $500 to $600 every month, it could vary a little bit, anywhere from under $500 to $600, then you can make it even better in the province. It all depends on you. What kind of lifestyle do you want? What kind of lifestyle can you handle? How much are you willing to sacrifice? Listen to this. This is very important. How much are you willing to sacrifice, right? From your Western life, from living in America, in Europe, in Canada, in Australia, you have an amazing life, right? I suppose, or at least you live with a lot of commodities, right? And then you can grab some nice pizza every day if you want, or whatnot. For example, pizza is very expensive in the Philippines, especially the pizza that you like. It's expensive in the Philippines. So there's things that you're going to have to sacrifice, guys. And then that's the main question. How much are you willing to sacrifice to live in the Philippines? How much do you want that life? And then how much do you have to sacrifice? Do you have to budget, or maybe you don't? Me personally, I didn't feel like I have to budget. I was just living the way I wanted to live without spending too much money, right? And you guys can watch my other YouTube videos. You know, I have cost of living videos in there for tips, and I also have vlogs, and you can see the life I was having in the province. You know, I'm gonna upload this video so I can shoot it to you guys. I hope you guys enjoy this kind of content, just straightforward, not wasting your time, giving you numbers, guys. So guess what? The total, I'll put it in the screen because I have to use a calculator. But right now, out of my mind, I think it was around the 24,000 pesos, something like that, for living in Manila. 24,000 pesos. I'll do the exchange rate for you guys there so you guys can see how much I'm talking about. Remember, one of your dollars, not euros, because euros is worth more. One freaking dollar is worth 56 to 57 pesos, guys. Love you guys so much, and I freaking appreciate your support, guys. You guys are awesome. Peace out.